The South African presidency has just announced that, by mutual agreement, Russian President Putin will not attend the BRICS Summit scheduled to be held in South Africa in August this year. Well, if I were Putin, I wouldn't want to go either. Do you know why? Because as soon as he sets foot on South African soil, he might be taken away by the South African police. I'm not joking, Putin has been accused of committing war crimes by the International Criminal Court. It's definitely a tricky situation, isn't it? I imagine him standing at the airport, watching South African police approaching him, thinking, looks like I'll have to use my black belt in karate this time. South African President Ramaphosa is trying to find a way out for Putin, requesting the International Criminal Court to grant him immunity. But I guess the reaction from the judges at the International Criminal Court upon seeing this request might be, you want us to let who go? Putin? Are you kidding? And then they burst into laughter and throw that request in the trash. Now, the Kremlin has come out saying that if South Africa attempts to execute the arrest warrant against Putin, it would mean war. Now that's what I call a real, my dad is the village chief, kind of attitude. It seems like this BRICS summit is not just an ordinary economic forum, it's a game of power. It's like an upgraded version of, your mom told you to bring salt home, except this time it's not your mom, it's the International Criminal Court, and they're not asking you to bring salt, they're asking you to arrest Putin. Oh, I forgot, arresting him might lead to war. So let's change it to, your mom told you to bring salt home, but the salt is at your annoying neighbor's house, and your neighbor is a mentally unstable person with a gun. In this situation, China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi is probably thinking, oh my, I still have to attend this summit. I wish I were also wanted by the International Criminal Court so that I could stay at home and watch Netflix. This is our world, my friends. Everyone is trying to deal with their problems, even if those problems could potentially spark a global conflict. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed by the pressures of life, at least you can console yourself that you're not attempting to arrest a president accused of war crimes at an international summit. The Victorian government in Australia recently made headlines by announcing the cancellation of the 2026 Commonwealth Games. Yes, you heard it right, they said, we need to save costs. Save costs? This is not about finding cheap items at the supermarket, this is the entire Commonwealth Games. Well, I must say, this is worse than my savings account. When Premier Daniel Andrews announced this news, everyone questioned his decision. It felt like a scene from a thriller movie. Who's next? Perth? Melbourne? Or even the UK? Hey, I bet they were all anxiously checking their bank account balances. Then, the reactions from other cities in Australia were quite interesting. They seemed to say, you don't want to host it? Well, we don't want to either. The UK government even refused to step in and save the day, taking a not my problem, I'm the biggest stance. It's as if the Commonwealth Games were just a hot potato, and they didn't want to handle it. Yes, everyone was avoiding this issue, just like I avoid that relative who loves to kiss during Chinese New Year. You know what? Initially, the Australian officials claimed they had a new and innovative model for the Games, showcasing the unity, diversity, community spirit, hospitality, and love for sports of the people of Victoria. However, just this week, Premier Andrews stated that the actual cost of hosting the Games would not be the initially budgeted $2.6 billion Australian dollars, but at least $6 billion Australian dollars, possibly even as high as $7 billion Australian dollars. It seems like the Premier has a new definition for love for sports. It means watching your bank account getting emptied. This news reminds me of a game we used to play as kids, hot potato. Do you remember? When the music stops, whoever is left holding the potato is out. It seems like the Commonwealth Games has become that hot potato that no one dares to touch, and no one wants to take on. Poor Commonwealth Games, already not as popular as the Olympics, and now treated like a hot potato. I suspect that if this trend continues, in the near future, the Commonwealth Games might become a whole new sport. Who can pass on the hosting rights of the Commonwealth Games to someone else in the shortest time, wins. Of course, the most amusing part is that this is not the first time the Commonwealth Games has been cancelled. It has happened twice before, once due to World War and recently, the cancellation of the 2022 Commonwealth Games in Durban, a South African coastal city, was also due to financial issues. I'm wondering if the Commonwealth Games needs to add a new criterion when selecting host cities. Please confirm that you actually have the money to host this competition. The Games are a serious matter. We certainly hope they can proceed as planned, giving athletes the opportunity to showcase their talents. But when you see everyone scrambling to avoid this hot potato, you can't help but admit that it's quite a farce. I suggest they try a baking competition next time. I think it would be cheaper, and who doesn't love cake? Anyway, let's hope they find a new host for 2026. Otherwise, they might have to turn it into an online competition. Just imagine, a 100-meter race with everyone sprinting in their own backyards. That should be an interesting competition, don't you think? Japan Airlines and Sumitomo Corporation recently launched a new service called Anywhere, Any Style. So, what is it? It's a very fashionable luggage, slimming plan. Passengers can rent clothing at incredibly affordable prices upon arriving in Japan, eliminating the need to travel the world with a suitcase full of clothes. Speaking of which, I think this is a godsend for anyone suffering from overpacking syndrome. You know that feeling, even when going out to buy groceries, you feel the need to bring 3 sets of spare clothes, just in case the apocalypse happens. Now you don't have to do that anymore. Japan Airlines is like the fitness coach convincing you to step out of your comfort zone and slim down your luggage. Imagine, this is an opportunity for you to enjoy a refreshing trip while also contributing to the environment. Sounds great, doesn't it? But wait, I haven't told you the funniest part yet. In this service, you can choose to rent up to 8 outfits from business style, casual style, or a mix of styles, and they offer 3 sizes: small, medium, and large. Now, what if your body size doesn't fit into any of these categories and falls into some mysterious size? Oh, I see, you might need to bring your own swimsuit. And just imagine, when you walk into the hotel lobby, the hotel staff says to you, "Sir, your 8 outfits are ready for you." Doesn't it make you feel like you suddenly became that wealthy person we see on TV who can change clothes in a 5-star hotel? It seems like Japan Airlines and Sumitomo Corporation want us to experience not just flying but also a lifestyle. So, everyone, next time you go to Japan, remember to just bring your toothbrush because your clothes are already waiting for you. Let's talk about some interesting stories in the field of research, or rather, there's nothing new under the sun. First, let's talk about Stanford University. Do you know what that is? It's a top-tier institution, full of talented individuals, and sometimes, people, falsify data. The president of Stanford University, Marc Tessier-Lavigne, I'm not sure if he's French, but he has certainly been acting like he's had a bit too much wine lately. It turns out, he falsified data in a scientific paper. It's like a child putting together their holiday homework and telling the teacher they went to Egypt, China, France, and even the moon. But remember, this person is the president of Stanford University. He might tell you that he didn't know the data was falsified, that it was just an oversight on his part. It sounds like when you tell your doctor, "I don't know how I gained so much weight, maybe it's because I ate too much salad." However, despite this president facing a problem, he is still taking proactive measures. He admitted that he should have been more careful, just like when we're eating ice cream and should be cautious not to let it drip onto our pants. He has decided to retract 3 of the papers and revise the other 2. Imagine it's like when you send a text message to your ex by mistake and now you're desperately trying to make that message disappear. I want to say to this president, Mark, I understand you. That's life, sometimes we make mistakes, but we can't let those mistakes define us. Remember, successful scientists are not those who have never failed, but those who can stand up after failure. However, next time when you're fabricating data, maybe don't just throw it together like making a sandwich. After all, you're the president of Stanford University, not an employee at Subway. Hopefully, the new president of Stanford can learn from this incident. Otherwise, we might see a new academic trend where data is treated like Play-Doh, molded as one pleases. But honestly, if such a trend were to emerge, I guess I could use my bank account balance for research. Whenever I need it, I'll just add a few zeros to it. In that case, I think I should easily obtain a doctoral degree in financial studies, right? Earlier on July 20th, hundreds of protesters attacked the Swedish embassy in Baghdad, Iraq, climbing the building's walls and setting it on fire to protest the Swedish government's decision to allow events involving the burning of the Quran. The Iraqi government and the Swedish government both condemned the attack on the Swedish embassy in Iraq. However, on the same day, the Iraqi government also announced the expulsion of the Swedish ambassador and recalled their representative in Sweden. According to the Associated Press, 2 men held an anti-Islam protest on a lawn about 100 meters from the Iraqi embassy in Stockholm on Thursday. Swedish media reported that one of them, named Salwan Momika, is an Iraqi Christian living in Sweden. He stepped on the Quran and kicked it with his foot, but did not set it on fire. Open black lens bracket leaders of the United States, Japan, and South Korea to hold their first trilateral summit close black lens bracket on the 20th. The South Korean presidential office announced that President Moon Jae-in will meet with U.S. President Biden and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida in the United States in August. The specific time and location are yet to be determined. It is expected that the leaders of the 3 countries will further enhance cooperation and coordination in areas such as security, economy, global affairs, and focus on discussing strengthening deterrence against North Korea. Sources say the summit may be held on August 18 at Camp David in the United States. Open black lens bracket UK cancels visa-free entry for Honduras and 4 other countries to prevent Chinese spies. Close black lens bracket. The UK announced the cancellation of visa-free entry for Honduras, the Dominican Republic, Vanuatu, Namibia, and Timor-Leste, effective from 3 p.m. on July 19 in London, with a transition period of 4 weeks. British intelligence agencies have previously stated that Chinese spies can use the purchase of citizenship in these countries to enter the UK visa-free and stay legally for up to 6 months. On Wednesday, a video was posted on a Telegram channel associated with the private military company Wagner, allegedly showing Wagner leader Dmitry Utkin welcoming troops to Belarus. He stated that Wagner forces plan to stay in Belarus for some time and continue training. This is the clearest indication so far that Wagner forces are undergoing a relocation based on an agreement that ended Wagner's failed rebellion. The 9th FIFA Women's World Cup kicked off on Thursday, July 20, bringing together the world's top female football players in Australia and New Zealand. This will be the largest Women's World Cup ever held. It is the first time in history that the Women's World Cup is jointly hosted by 2 countries, Australia and New Zealand, which are neighbours. The final will be held in Sydney, while the opening ceremony will take place in Auckland. Longevity medical clinics are popping up across the United States like mushrooms after the rain, promising to help clients live longer and better as long as they can afford to pay. From preventing chronic diseases to treating tennis elbow, these clinics offer a wide range of services. Clients pay up to $100,000 per year for treatments that are sometimes unproven. By the end of 2024, Tesla plans to invest over $1 billion in building an internal supercomputer called the Dojo project. Elon Musk stated that Dojo will be used for processing data and videos to improve autonomous driving capabilities. Residents of the towns of Kleinmachnow, Teltow, and Stonsdorf in southwest Berlin received an emergency notice today, urging people to stay at home and not let their pets go outside. Local police reported that the previous day at midnight, someone reported seeing 2 pedestrians chasing after each other. The one being chased was a wild boar, and the one doing the chasing appeared to be a large cat, possibly a female lion. Hello everyone, I'm your news anchor, Yali, providing you with a one-stop service for global news every day. Feel free to leave comments in the comment section, and we will carefully read and respond to your comments. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. See you next time. Take care everyone.